Lights.
Camera.
Watch.
Wicked.
Watch.
Watch.
So, I fucking love musicals.
I fucking love musicals.
I'm just telling you.
She didn't like Moana 2.
That's not a musical. That's
a musical. Don't act like it's not a musical.
It's
an animated musical.
Then every Disney movie is a musical.
Most of them are. That's correct.
So then I love musicals.
You do.
And so does the world. They just don't know it yet.
That's true.
Okay. So I love this movie from the beginning. Like just on the sets. We're seeing a lot of real life production in this movie throughout the entire time. There are sets, there is CGI, but they're honestly set. Like when they go to like the Wiz University or Shiz, the Shiz, like you're entering like a university. It's a school, and I'm like, wow, fantastic job.
No, the sets are definitely the best part of the movie.
You think so?
Yeah, they're impressive. They built the train. Well, they didn't write the music.
They built the train?
That train's real.
Okay.
But they didn't write the music. You can't say the music's the best part of the movie when we're talking about the movie in
That
general,
is very true. Okay,
they're taking like
they're
pre-written
taking,
music.
Yeah, they're taking a lot of stuff from something that is already a Broadway hit.
Yeah.
So again, I didn't know anything about Wicked. I never saw the musical. I just honestly
I did not know this was a story about them being in school. I knew nothing about Wicked. Also, embarrassingly enough, the song Defying Gravity, obviously I have heard like a million times.
Really?
Never in my life would have considered that defying gravity meant homegirls flying. Which now seems stupid. She's obviously defying gravity, just never made the connection.
You know, there's a lot of, and I'll get into it later, but there's a lot of symbolism about Superman in this movie. Just saying that. Anyways.
Why are you like this?
There are moments I'll bring it up later, but I'm just saying like, I don't know what really the plot is of this movie in the sense of like...
Well, my problem with Wicked is that I have not seen part 2 and I refuse to go online and look up what happens.
Yeah.
So, and also it has absolutely nothing to do with The Wizard of Oz.
Interesting. Well,
At least the first half.
Well, we don't know. We never... How do we know what's going to happen in part 2? That if we watch Wicked the musical, the part 2 is in it too?
Yeah, of course.
Oh. Damn, I bet you a lot of people are going to watch it to see part 2. And damn, like, then musical must be
well,
really...
the musical has been out for like 20 years. A lot of people just know what happens because it was like the most popular musical ever. It's been on Broadway like since it came out. Like, people know the plot of Wicked.
Yeah.
But then there's people like us who like are not really in that scene or don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't know the plot. And like you could easily look it up right now, like what happens. Like, it's not a secret what happens in Wicked Part 2, but I don't want to know until it's on the big screen.
We don't want to know, and I don't want my algorithm to hear this and like tell me what's going to happen.
Oh my god, so many things have been spoiled for me.
Have they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Without me, I've never once looked up like Wicked information, and it's just been fed to me because it's like really in the world conscious right now. And like pretty much I now don't know the plot, but I know a lot of like individual spoilers about things, which is pretty irritating.
So I have to say, I love the casting. And I think if people don't put respect on Ariana Grande's name as an actress, I'm going to have arguments. Whereas before I wouldn't. But that girl did an amazing job in this role because I feel like in the past several years, she's kind of been like a punching bag in terms of like the people she dated and stuff like that and like whatever it is.
Well, she's at a unique position of being one of the most famous people alive. And so naturally when you're at that point of fame and you've had a lot of problems with men in the media and like a lot of things surrounding you, like people are going to pick you apart no matter what when you have that level of fame. But I think the fact...
And talent.
Oh, the talent is undeniable.
Yes.
Especially since like her main acting start was like on Nickelodeon. And
Nickelodeon or Disney?
Nickelodeon. You're too old for Victorious, yes?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, so there is an incredible kids television show called Victorious about a bunch of people who go to a musical high school or a performing arts high school in Hollywood. And it's actually the Burbank High School that's just redone to be Hollywood High or whatever. I don't know what it's called. But she plays, like, the dumb redhead, and she's, like, the funniest character on the show, essentially. And they sing a lot. It's, like, and so her vocals have been, like, there from the start. But she plays, like, the funniest character on the show. And that's really, like, before this, her biggest acting thing. She's made some cameos and stuff. Like, she was in Don't Look Up, but she showed up as the pop star in Don't Look Up and, like, stood around type deal. But I think the fact that her acting start was a comedic role really paid off in this movie because her comedic timing is incredible. There's no denying that. And she can sing. She's in like the 0.0001% of like top singers in the world with like what she can hit. So a musical where she's like playing the comedic relief, like there's no way that anybody else would have done it as good as she does.
Yeah, I mean, I just love. There isn't
I
any.
do think they took a big risk on hiring her.
I think it was a gamble and like
it paid off for sure.
Gigantic. And you know what the best part of this movie is? They filmed both of it.
Yeah,
it's done. So the budget for this movie was 150.
So give it to me now. I'd go watch it right now.
I think, and this is my issue when they do like part 1s and part 2s. They need to do it like 6 or 7 months apart from each other.
It's all about how much money they can make, and because if there's part 1 and part 2, people are going to go see part 1 and part 2 because they want more Wicked. But if it's not, people are just going to keep seeing the first one.
Not enough
and then
movie
they're spreading
theaters.
it out so the awards will be nominated both times, and it's kind of dumb, but it is what it is. But
Yeah.
I'd like to see it now.
Yeah. Do we both agree that the Wicked Witch, what's her name? Eleanor?
Elphaba?
Elphaba. I can't read. Elphaba's dad must be Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, it's gotta be.
Yeah, I just like when they showed that in the beginning.
In the first song, it's literally Jeff Goldblum singing.
Okay, I don't know that.
When like the wizard comes in, like
No.
it is Jeff Goldblum singing. It has to be.
It's if that's not the case, but I have to say I do like the story. You know what I mean? Like I have no idea what the story was gonna be, but I do like the fact that like this is the origins of like these people, and how it's gonna be and how they met.
Mhm.
Because everybody when they watched The Wizard of Oz, I just thought like, oh, magically the Wicked Witch of the West, she's just an evil character that existed in their universe.
Well, the Wicked Witch of the West is like one of the most evil characters, like one of the most famous
Mm-hmm.
like villains of all time. So the idea of like the Wicked Witch being like all nasty to Dorothy, like not too long after this happens. Granted, I don't know anything about part 2, so I don't know how much time takes place in between or anything. It's just those are not the same character. So that's like my biggest hang up on like it has to be completely separate from the Wizard of Oz to me. Like any comparisons to the Wizard of Oz actually make no sense other than like they are the same characters.
Mhm.
Because like Cynthia Erivo's version of Elphaba is not the Wicked Witch in the Wizard of Oz. Like
Yeah.
they are separate. Because like there are so many other things and I'm like, that's not how that works.
Imagine if the end of part 2, it's like a retelling of like how the Wizard of Oz really goes down.
That's probably what it is.
Like imagine like it's gonna be a retelling because we see a vision of the Wizard of Oz. Imagine it's just like a retelling of it, and
Well,
like
the one thing I can't get over, again, I don't know what happens in Wicked Part 2, but we've mentioned this before, that like there's no way that if she melts from water, that she's never, this is just shifts to, they're just playing it off like she's just a regular girl, she's green, that she doesn't like shower daily.
Mhm.
Like there's some,
yeah,
like something's
she
happening
doesn't
here.
drink water. Like I just don't get it. Like
So yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be something of that sort,
there has to be something different.
but I don't know.
I don't know. The casting, I think they did a fantastic job.
I think even though everybody is 20 years too old, they did a great job.
I can't tell how
They're
old
supposed to
people.
be in college.
Like Ariana Grande, honestly, if I saw her,
She's in her 30s.
I don't know.
She's just so small. I mean, so is Cynthia Erivo. Those are two tiny women.
Yeah, but again, it's like an alternate universe. It's like
That's what I'm saying. Since they cast all the background like characters and all the side characters also in that age range, it's like a little bit more believable. But my
Yeah.
biggest issue is that like some of the things that they're doing in this like movie is just so childish, and like a adult would never make that decision. And if they were younger, it would be a lot more like, oh, they're just a kid, like
They're
they're
in high
just making
school?
mistakes. But I'm like, that is a grown woman. Like, why are you acting like a literal child? And it's like, oh, you're supposed to be a little child. And I think that's the only like disconnect from me is like, why are you doing these things? It's like, oh, you're supposed to be 19.
hmm
But it's easy to look past.
Yeah, some of the casting, like Michelle Yeoh,
Yo,
was fantastic. I love just her character, and she's been in like several movies, from Crazy Rich Asians to Everything Everywhere at Once. Like recent years, she's getting like, I love her as an actress, and I feel like every time she came into this movie, her presence is felt. Like she's like, wow, she's like everybody acknowledged.
She's a little bit tough vocally, but I love Michelle Yeoh so much that I don't care. I'm just happy she's there.
Yeah, I don't know if she's like a natural singer and stuff like that, but like
who cares? It's
yeah.
Michelle Yeoh. Put her in everything.
Yeah. So I really
same with Jeff Goldblum. Put him in everything. I love Jeff Goldblum.
I think Jeff Goldblum is not like an actor anymore. He's just Jeff Goldblum. Does that make sense?
No, that's perfect. That's all I need.
You know, Jeff Goldblum.
Who would make a better wizard? No one. Make it Jeff Goldblum. That's so funny.
Yeah, there are actors like that are just who they are. Like Ryan Reynolds, your favorite. You love him. He does.
No.
But the music, that's what we're there for. I loved every song. Every song was good. Every song made me emotional. And when I get emotional, the tears.
The tears?
Slowly come down
What's
the cheeks.
your favorite song?
Obviously, like, Defying Gravity is, like, there. But, like, When I Meet the Wizard, I think that's
The Wizard and I.
The Wizard and I love that. When she's, like, running through the cornfields and then, like, that's you know when she's, like, kind of flying?
Mm-hmm. She does her little leap.
That's, like, Superman. You do really see that, right? Like, you've not seen Man of Steel. Which,
of course not.
Hasn't seen Man of Steel. Do you like Henry Cavill?
I have never seen him in anything.
But you've seen him
except for the one cameo he does in Deadpool and Wolverine.
We're gonna watch.
And when he arms
shotguns his arms, reloads his arms. We will watch Man of Steel.
We don't have to really.
For my birthday.
That's okay.
For my birthday.
Oh, that's so tough. That's fine. It's your birthday.
I think okay.
I'd happily watch Man of Steel on your birthday. Happily.
Anyways, let's do moments, okay? All of a sudden, like in Superman, like goes away, starts developing powers, and is like undefeatable in some ways. Like there's moments where she's like starts skipping and she's flying, and she is like tormented by her schoolmates and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Green, kryptonite, green, same color. Don't get the reference. Maybe it's far.
I know what kryptonite is.
Anyways, and it's not the song we're talking about Superman. So, kind of feeling like an outcast, trying to find who her parents are in some way. Like wants to meet like her dad, and like I think like.
Well, she doesn't know that her dad isn't her dad.
Yeah, I guess so.
So she's not trying to meet her dad.
That is true. That's loose end. But anyways, you know the ending when she's flying.
She's defying gravity. Yes.
Yes, like Superman, cape.
Literally going. It's a cloak.
Literally going like this.
She's holding a broom.
Like this.
I refuse to acknowledge the Superman.
You don't see the Superman reference.
Sure. Sure.
Superman's there.
Superman. I just love Superman.
Is there a moment in this movie that like really hit you hard?
I didn't cry. I don't know why people are coming out of this movie sobbing. I didn't think it was sad.
So you know that scene where like everybody's making fun of her at that underground like.
I hate this scene. I think this is unwatchable.
You didn't like this?
Seb, I think it is unwatchable. With all due respect, what they're trying to go for, I understand you need like the moment between the two of them. It goes on for like 10 minutes.
It is unwatchable, but it's like at a moment where it's like, wait, like Ariana Grande is all like.
No, I did not like it at all. Why is it all silent? Why are they all just staring at her? Why is she dancing like that? And then, yes, like, obviously Ariana Grande is going to swoop in and, like, save her, and they're going to have their bonding moments, and she sheds the tear, and she wipes it off. Sure, that's all you need for, like, the two of them together. I was cringing so hard. It just wasn't for me. It didn't do it for me. If it did it for you, that's great. I'm happy they achieved their goal. But for me, I was like, I think this was a very poor choice.
Got you.
When I saw it the second time, I was like, I went to the bathroom during that time. I was like, I don't need to see this again. It started, and I was like, I think I'm
Guys,
done.
there's like a 10 minutes. I'll be back. I'll check my email.
When I came back, it was still going.
Like I that part hit home. You know, so
I'm happy for you. I am happy for you because I'm glad it is hitting for like some people because in my opinion, it was like, why is this in here? But if it affected you, then that's great. It did its job.
You know what's an interesting aspect of that movie that I kind of feel like it just disappeared? Like, it's the whole animals are losing their way to communicate.
Okay, so this is one of the things where if I think that the whole story was told in one movie, and now that I see that, like, how they've done it, like, I see that making it a whole movie would have just been way too long, so I understand the part 1 and part 2. But I think one thing that's kind of lost in, like, the chaos of it being only half of the story is like the animal rights plots, because I think that's supposed to be the driving force of all of like the tension. But to me, it's like so off to the side, because the whole movie is so focused on like, I'm different, I've never been treated like correctly, like people judge me from my color, like all of these things, that the fact that like her whole driving force of like why she wants to take down the wizard, why like she wants to go see the wizard in the first place, why she wants to like speak out, is all about like wanting the animals to have their ability and like their rights saved. I think that's great, but I think it was a little bit lost, because like when she got to the wizard and she asks for the animals, I almost forgot that that is what like she was there to do, and I was like, oh yeah, we're here for the goat. And that's like, I think if it was all told together, that would have like really kind of been a little bit more obvious maybe, but I was a little bit like, I don't think this is that important.
Yeah, that was the only part of this movie that kind of bothered me. It was like, look, there's this significant moments where it's like, oh, we're like these backstories about like, yo, the animals were like part of the universities, the like teachers are no longer there, they don't feel safe.
Like when she breaks, and when she first gets to Shiz and she breaks the clock, or not the clock, there's like a medallion on the building, and it's the wizard, and underneath the wizard is like 4 animals or something with like books and lectures, like this was all about like the animals, and now it's being covered by the wizard. Like it's in the DNA from the start that this is like the driving force, but like it just doesn't shine through as well as it's supposed to be. Shout out the bear though. The bear?
Oh, the mama bear.
The nanny bear lady. What a legend.
Who was the person that said there was no... Was it Nicole that said there's no animals in this movie?
No, Nicole said that there's no CGI in this movie. She read an article headline that said there was minimal CGI in building the sets of Wicked. And what came out of her mouth was, did you know that there was no CGI in Wicked? And we literally watched a bear assist a childbirth.
We love you, by the way, Nicole. But it was just like, it's just like a moment I just
it's
remember.
So good. The goat sang. Yeah. There's no she flew. There's no CGI in Wicked. It's so good.
No, it's good. And I feel like this is a movie where it's like, when the Oscars comes along,
I'll be so upset if this wins Best Picture. I just need you to know that right now.
I agree. I 100% agree.
I loved it. I had a great time. I liked it way better than I thought I was going to. I will be so upset if this
give it best costume, give it best hair and makeup, give it best production and design.
Absolutely.
Give him that. Even if Ariana Grande won like an award for her,
I think in the like non-Oscars, like the Golden Globes type award shows,
they might steal it.
I think there should be a new award show that does like actually fun categories that like award specific things, like best like vocal performance in a musical, or like best stunt performing. Like I feel like a lot of these like niche like performing aspects, or like aspects of movie making that are like really overlooked, because I think they should be awarded for like their work in this movie, but I don't think that it's like the performance of the year. Like I think Ariana Grande is great. She's no Mikey Madison in Nora, you know what I mean? Like I think there needs to be some more, and I mean the Golden Globes kind of do that, where they're like, they separate the categories of best drama and best comedy and musical. So like there's some room in like a musical category here, but I also think that that's just not broad enough categories, because like Heretic, like Hugh Grant is nominated for best male performance in a comedy or musical for Heretic, and I don't think that...
For an Oscar?
No, for a Golden Globe. The Oscar nominations aren't out yet. But like for a comedy or a musical, and I don't think that Heretic is a comedy or a musical.
100%.
But like, you know, I think there's like room in there to like, I like that they do the extra categories. Again, like in the Oscars, I think it's separate, and I think it should be separate. But I think in like the other categories that don't really matter as much, they should be having more fun in the categories.
I agree. So this is going to be trouble, but this is my counter for you. Do you think Ariana Grande could be in the role of Anora?
No, absolutely not.
You don't think she can be that?
Absolutely not.
I feel like she, if you put her in that position, she could be that character.
No way she would do the things that you need to do to be in that movie. Like she's not a good enough actor, and I'm not saying that she's a bad actor, but like she is not.
I disagree with you hardcore. I feel like Ariana Grande could do that role. But Mikey Madison could not do this role.
I think that I do not think Ariana Grande would be able to do that. I think the things that Mikey Madison does in that movie is like, you have to like be able to bear it all and like be sad and be like.
You don't think she can?
No, I don't think that she would let her image. I think she's too much of like a polished pop star
Oh,
to like be seen in like certain
okay, I have a
lights.
question for you.
And that's not just like about nudity either. I just don't think that she would be able to do it.
Remove the nudity. You don't think she can be that emotional actress?
I don't think she can do the accent.
I've literally seen her sing like Celine Dion and Beyonce.
I guess she does do a lot of impressions.
I've literally seen her do.
Yeah, but you've seen her sing. Like that's not a singing performance. It's a very emotional.
To mimic
like,
someone's vocal ability.
I don't know if she has the emotional range to hit like the harder parts of the movie. I think she nailed the comedy.
If she hasn't,
she has a very like the voice she chooses to speak with now is very light and airy. Like she hasn't started like this anyway. And Honora is like screaming and like cussing, and I don't think it would be as.
I hope one day, if it's not that cookie image, whatever it is that she wants to maintain her brand, but like I have to say this, her lyrics are not cookie cutter images and stuff like that.
No, yeah, but Nora is not a musical.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking about acting. I hope she goes in. I don't think
she has the chops.
I hope she challenges herself. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I would love to see it. I like her acting performances much more than her music, so that would be great.
Do you feel that Ariana Grande has gotten more attention than Cynthia, who plays Elphaba? Do you feel like who stole the show for this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's those two.
Honestly, I think that I was more leaning towards Ariana Grande's performance solely because I wasn't expecting it to be good, while I was expecting Cynthia Erivo to be good. Mm-hmm. I think Cynthia Erivo outsings Ariana Grande in this movie by far. I think her vocal performance is fucking shitting on Ariana Grande's, frankly. And I think that she's playing the character. I don't know anything about Wicked, but I think she's playing it like so, like, I have such a nasty heart and I'm so cold and Ariana Grande is just having so much more fun that it's like, it's easy to lean towards the Ariana Grande being like, she's having so much fun, she's doing such a good job, she's hitting all the comedic timing. I think they're really hard performances to compare. Yeah. But they have been in every single interview together, so I wouldn't really say one person is outshining the other as far as like attention, because they're literally like in every single interview like together.
I think Cynthia is gonna get so many more movie roles.
I hope so. She deserves
it. Because I was looking at her like her IMDb.
She's a Broadway actress.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she's from the theater. Like she was on The Color Purple for like ages. Like she is like a stage actor.
I slowly, when I was looking at her like IMDb,
she played like Harriet. I think.
Yes, that's it. Like she did like 5 movies, and this is like her thing. I hope she gets more roles because like she can really.
If that's something she wants, if she wants to pivot like towards movies rather than like being on the stage, I think after this she can get whatever she wants.
Yeah, I mean Hugh Jackman does it.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So this movie has the plot is kind of like whatever.
I have issues with the plot, but I can't speak on my issues until I see the second half.
Okay, the plot is like kind of like whatever. The characters are fantastic. Mm-hmm. Direction, like the way it's directed and stuff like that.
Other than the choice of muted colors, I think it's great.
Okay, so cinematography, you're gonna have an issue with the halo polish kind of thing, because I was oblivious to that. Because sometimes when I watch
The Wizard of Oz has vibrant colors. I don't need a fake realistic Oz. Just make the colors vibrant. That's all I'll say.
So the soundtrack bangers.
Bangers.
It's definitely gonna win a bunch of awards for costume, makeup,
I'd rather
editing.
they go to Dune, but I'd be okay with it.
You know what the problem with
production design?
You know what the problem with Dune is? The Dune 2 came out like in February.
I know, it really sucks. It was supposed to come out the year before and like this time, but it's fine.
I think that was like the suckiness of Dune, because like not sucky the movie, the timing.
As long as it gets nominated for Best Picture, because I'm just worried people are gonna forget about it so much. Like I don't think it's gonna win because of like honestly the timing when it came out.
Yeah.
But like imagine if Dune came out around the same time as Gladiator 2. Like people would be way more talking about how awesome Dune is.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. As long as it gets nominated, that would have rocked. As long as it gets nominated for Best Picture, I'll be okay.
Awesome. So again, this movie is made. I always want to bring up like Banker Bus, but like this movie is bank. Like
of course.
Yeah. So this movie, do you think how is Time gonna view it? Is it's gonna be like that Oscar movie that we talked about, like this the one that won Oscar?
No.
This is definitely gonna be not like Razzie.
This is gonna be a classic for people who like musicals and theater, because the musical is a classic. People who like Wicked listen to the soundtrack all the time. Like it is not like a niche musical. Like people love this story and they love this music. And I think since it is a good version of a stage musical, which is honestly kind of hard to do. This is gonna stay in people's like rotation like a long time. I think this is gonna be like a very rewatched movie.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like this might be a movie that's kind of watched maybe during the holidays, maybe not.
I mean, it's for all ages, so like maybe.
I always wanted to bring up a new concept. Like, do you think this is gonna be like a sequel? Obviously, because like
there's part
part
2 is already shot.
Yes, it's finished. But do you think they might make like a series off this?
It would be a mistake if they did.
But they've built the world. Like they can create the wizarding world.
I think.
No, sorry, wizarding world. Sorry.
I think people,
the world of Oz.
I think people like the story too much, that it's too precious, that if they did any other thing, it would be a mistake. Because honestly, most of the time when they make TV shows out of stuff like this, it is a mistake.
Awesome. Well, again, I guess this is definitely a lights.
Camera.
Watch.